What's up, man? My name is Ahmed, and welcome to the Quitting Porn Masterclass. Now, before I give you the blueprint to the subconscious transition method to quit porn for good within 1 week and get rid of it for the rest of your life, I want you to remove all the distractions just for the next 30 minutes. So, let's get started. Now, we are about to discover how to quit porn for good within 7 days and completely remove your urges within 2 to 4 weeks with using the subconscious transition method. Now, I know you see the word subconscious here, but I want you to understand, I want you to know that this is way more than you simple subconsciously programming and changing your mind. This is combined 4 years of personal experiences and working with hundreds of men and using psychological approaches and advanced method that helps in quitting porn for good. Now, to prove it so far, this is how multiple men have quitted. Many of them quitted in less than 7 days. Some of them never even relapsed ever. Some of them never even relapsed once ever since I started coaching them in the program. Right? You can pause the video out. You can read all the testimonials if you want. There are a lot of their testimonials as we continue in the video, and you can go on my website as well, my page as well. There are a lot of them, so you can read all of them if you want. Now, first you need to know who is this for. So, if you have tried in the past or even right now using willpower, discipline, porn blockers, keeping yourself busy, not thinking about it, distracting yourself from the urge, but you keep on relapsing, if porn has been the barrier between you and your goals, if porn has been ruining your drive towards your goals, your relationship with your loved ones, and most importantly, your relationship with God, and if you over sexualize every single woman that you see on the internet, or even in real life, and you kind of have this dirty over sexualized mind, then you need to listen up for the next 30 minutes. So here's the bottom line, okay? If you want someone who is himself completely free from porn or masturbation and who has coached multiple men to quit barely within 7 days, and you want me to show you a proven method to quit porn once and for all so you can meet full potential in your life, now let me see if this sounds like you, okay? Have you used willpower thinking that oh, if you got a girlfriend or if you get married, or constantly trying to keep yourself busy or distracting yourself from the urge? Have you tried going on these nofap communities, or using blocking softwares, or maybe deleting social media? Like maybe you even tried therapy as well, and you watched many of the YouTube videos, and how to quit porn for good. I'm going to tell you exactly why none of these things actually work for quitting porn. Because, we all know that porn kills our masculine drive, right? It puts us in that state of shame and guilt. It affects your relationship with your loved ones, or your relationship with your partner, or maybe it will affect your future relationship with your partner because of the over sexualization that you have towards women. And it makes you shameful and guilty every single time you are done with it, basically. And you must quit for good, but for some reason you keep on coming back at it, like the urges get so strong and you're not sure why, right? Now, here's the inevitable truth, okay? You're kind of stuck in this downward spiral, right? You kind of stuck in this downward spiral where it's like you watch porn, right? So you feel the negative emotion like shame and guilt and all of that, so you isolate yourself, because you don't want to be around other people when you feel those emotions. And then you feel shame, guilt, depression, stress, frustration, and all of these negative emotions. So how do you relieve those emotions? Yes, by going back to porn again, right? And also the cycle keeps on repeating and repeating, and then repeats and repeats. And so real life distractions, which I've experienced as well, and many of the people as well, right, just like you. And I know you feel mad at yourself that you cannot control yourself, and this cycle has been happening now for years. So here's my promise to you, okay? In the next 30 minutes, I will show you, I'm going to show you a new method that has been recognized as the number one way to quit porn for good, because it helps to quit completely within 7 to 14 days and get rid of all of your urges within 14 to 28 days, okay? By attacking the root cause of your addiction. And also it's backed up by the 630 plus members of my personal program over the past few years as a porn recovery coach. And this works even if you have been failing for years. I'm talking about 5 to 25, or even more than that, 30 years or 35 years. And even if you have a serious porn problem, like you have been doing it multiple times a day, and you feel like extremely addicted, and you feel like you have no control over yourself and drive and overall discipline, right? Because much like brother Anas, one of the guys that I've helped, he managed to quit within within a week, and he's completely free from porn for good. But before joining the program, brother Anas was not confident. Okay, like he could not talk to a single woman. He constantly had this over sexualized, dirty mind, and he would always relapse after every few weeks or every few months, and then he end up going back to the cycle again and again. And he thought that he would never be able to leave this cycle, because he would get to 2 months, like he would get to 2 months porn free, 3 months porn free, and then relapse again. Like he relapsed a couple of times more, and then he kept on going back again, uh, to 3 months, and then relapse, and the cycle was gone, and this cycle was going on and on and on. But fast forward now, brother Anas was able to quit porn within a week. No more porn at all. You can read his testimonial as well if you want. So I used to lust over a woman a lot. I was completely lost and unfaithful. You can read the testimonial if you want. Okay. Now, so I asked a lot of guys in my program for the subconscious transition. But before they tried the subconscious transition method, they told me that every other method they have tried, and basically, this is the list of every other method that they tried. And this list is basically what I like to call the short-term techniques. Okay. So here it goes. So porn blockers, right? Motivation, willpower, discipline, exercising, accountability, faith or use praying, punishing yourself not to do it, or just having a girlfriend, getting married, journaling, mindfulness, trying over and over again, keeping yourself busy, distracting yourself from it, blocking access to everything, spending more time with friends or being outside, reminding yourself to not relapse, putting your phone outside of your bedroom, using less and less social media or even deleting it, having a purpose in life, right? You see, all of these techniques, maybe you have also tried these techniques as well. But if you actually see, what we can see here is that all of these techniques that I mentioned here, they all target the tip of the iceberg, right? Like you can see, this is the iceberg in the water. These techniques only target the tip of the iceberg, which is only the 10%, right? The 10% of the total iceberg. Whilst the rest of the iceberg, which we don't even see, is the subconscious mind. And this is what we haven't tapped into yet, right? Subconscious mind, you can say, is basically working against you right now. Like 90% of your brain, as you can see, this is the 90% of your iceberg, aka 90% of your brain is working against you, whilst the 10% of your brain is working for you, right? Which means that we have 10% against 90%. So you can see, so you can understand why we relapse, right? And why these techniques never work, because they literally target the 10% of your brain. And some people might say this is even 5 to 10% of the conscious mind, right? Now here's another student, another guy that I've coached, brother Barkat. I've also an interview with brother Barkat on my YouTube. If you want, you can watch that interview. So before Barkat learned about the subconscious transition method, again, Barkat was not confident. He had no masculine energy. He would always procrastinate towards his dreams. He was so stressed and anxious towards his relationships. And also, he was married as well. And he had a daughter as well. He had a daughter, and he was very worried about being a father figure for his child, a father figure for his daughter. And he felt like a hypocrite. He felt like he was cheating on his wife. And he felt like he was not able to, like he was not being a great father figure for his child. And he was continuously relapsing because of that. And because of that, he felt stressed and anxious about his relationships, about his loved ones. But fast forward today, ever since doing the subconscious transition, Barkat is completely free from porn completely. He's not even having any urges. He's more masculine than ever. He finally gained back that hunger and drive to achieve his goals. And he finally became a great father figure for his family, for his daughter, and became a great role model for his family. And finally, he's no more social anxious. Like he has no more social anxiety. And here's another guy that I've coached, one of my another student, brother Rehan. and you can also watch the interview with my brother Rehan on my YouTube if you want. So brother Rehan was addicted for years, for 14 years, and he was relapsing 6 days a week. And brother Rehan, before doing subconscious transition, brother Rehan was stressed and anxious with his relationships. He was not concerned for his health. He was not feeling strong enough. He always felt like he was weak than other men. He always felt like he was feminine, and he would always procrastinate towards his dreams, and he was feeling ashamed because of that. But fast forward, after finding this subconscious transition, brother Rehan forgot about porn completely. It's like he's not even thinking about porn basically, right? And he's not having any cravings for it. He finally gained back that self control, and he got back that hunger to achieve his dreams basically. And he's overall living a healthier lifestyle. He's having a better relationship with his wife and family, and also he has a desire to build a family. So yeah, brother, if you want, you can watch the interview with brother Rehan on my YouTube. Now, here's the roadmap for today's training, okay? First, I will go through a quick intro about myself and how I found the subconscious transition method. And you're going to understand the real reason why you keep on relapsing despite not wanting to. And third, I'm going to lay out for you the 3 steps subconscious transition method and exactly what to do to quit porn for good in the next 7 days. So, and I even counted the amount of hours that I wasted, right? uh and I just did a quick math myself, and the average I got that uh if you watch porn for if you watch porn for 10 years, right, on a minimum wage for 1 hour a day, then you already wasted like $25,000 to $50,000, right? And I'm being generous because 1 hour a day, it kind of like puts us in that low state where we are not even achieving anything for multiple hours, right? Sometimes even full day we don't do anything, right? And 1 hour a day can mean a lot for you guys. Like it can mean you building a business that makes you hundreds of thousands and make you able to provide for your family, or even pursue a career that can make you 1 or 2 times better than doing nothing, right? And also it makes you miss out on so many important opportunities that can lead you to achieving your goals in your career and your business. And I want you to do the calculation yourself as well, okay? Just simply multiply the time per day you watch porn, multiply it by the 365 days, which is the number of days in a year, multiplied by your salary, your minimum wage, and multiply by how many years you have been watching porn. And then I want you to do the calculation yourself, okay? Because if you schedule the call with me, I want you to write this down on a notebook so we can talk about it on the call. So while you're taking notes for this video, I want you to write this down, okay? Just pause the video out, write it down now. So if you have been like most people on average, who would watch porn for like 1 hour a day or less, do this calculation, okay? Multiply the time per day that you have been watching porn on average, on the in the past few years, ever since you started, multiplied by number of days in a year, which is 365, multiplied by your salary, let's say your minimum wage, multiplied by how many number of years you have been doing it, okay? And this is the calculation that I got. I wasted around $25,000 to $50,000 flushed down the toilet every year. I want to know how much is it for you, okay? Pause this video out, write it down, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to be able to use it for other things as well. And for me, things were just getting worse and worse over time. Like I was like very disturbed. I just needed more and more to get off. I was just going down this hole of this disgusting, weird types of porn. You know what I mean? And I would just isolate myself in my room. Like it felt like my life was completely meaningless. I felt like completely empty from inside when I would watch it. And here's the bottom line, okay? I tried, like, porn was destroying my life, and possibly it's destroying yours as well. And honestly, man, I tried everything to quit. I tried keeping myself busy. I tried learning new techniques. I tried deleting social media. I watched every single YouTube video, but nothing seems to work for me, okay? And I blamed it on my loneliness. I used to blame it on my loneliness. And then I realized that if I continued down this path, then it was very obvious. Like it was laid down in front of me that I would never be able to achieve any of my dreams that I wanted to. Apart from that, my potential would be lost. I would never be able to leave any impact in this world. And I knew that I would directly kill my ability in the near future to build a family and provide for them, right? To become a great father figure or even attract a faithful woman in my life, right? So I said that, you know what, enough was enough. And I quickly also realized that seeing a therapist was also useless, because at that time no therapist understood the true reality of porn addiction. And I also realized that the loneliness and the boredom was not why I relapsed. There was something deeper than that, okay? And so I said that enough is enough. Something has to change, okay? And you know, the craziest part about porn is how they show you that the brain is affected in a negative way, just like a drug. Now, when I became free myself, and I coached many people to do it as well, and I talked to people that were already free from heavy drugs such as cocaine, heroin, etc., I realized that there were three common patterns that helped me and them become free forever without even craving for it. So I decided, you know what, let me delve deeper into this problem. You know, let me really do my own research. Let me find my own mentors. So I spent whole 7 years to understand this, okay? Like, I decided to create a plan, and the plan was simple. I simply decided to watch every single YouTube video, read every single book, study every single experts on the subject, and really interview as many people who are free from this as I could, and really basically read all the articles. And because of that, I also spend I also spend money, thousands of money, on mentors, courses, resources, with 7+ years of uncovering addictions and trying every single techniques, okay? And this is where I actually realized that, at some point you can only solve the problem through the root cause, right? And and to cut down the root cause completely, you need to use the subconscious transition method. As you can see the roots here, right? This is like a tree, okay? These are the roots and the leaves and the branches and the trunk. Now cutting down the leaves, like if you want to cut down this tree, then cutting down the leaves won't do anything, right? And this is where we fail. We just try to cut down the leaves and the branches, whilst the roots are still there. The branches, the roots are still there, okay? So the thing is, now that I did so much research with my mentors, spending money, I was reading hundreds of articles to discover, and then I discovered and suddenly end up creating what we call the subconscious transition method, right? Now look, what do people that help, like the people that I helped and that I found personally, was that 90% of men, or I would say myself, 95% of men were trying to quit porn the absolute wrong way, okay? Like they were either using willpower, which fails over time and never lasts, or they were trying to use short term logical solutions to a long term deep inside of the subconscious problem. I'm going to say that again. They were trying to use the short term logical solutions to a long term deep inside of the subconscious problem. It just didn't fit, right? Now, here's why short term techniques alone is not enough. As you can see here, this is an iceberg, right? And the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg, which can be up to 10%, and that is your conscious mind. Your conscious mind basically, like porn cannot be treated through willpower, discipline, or self control, okay? As you can see in the conscious mind, willpower, short term memory, logical thinking, critical thinking. And then here we have the subconscious mind, which has never been tapped into yet, and it has been used against us in a sense that, like, in a sense that, porn has been ingrained in your subconscious. Porn has been ingrained in the subconscious, and the other name for subconscious is unconscious, right? As you can see, the beliefs, for example, the subconscious mind comprises of beliefs, emotions, habits, values, long-term memory, imagination, and all of those things, right? So, the beliefs, for example, like you got told many times that, oh, masturbation is healthy, porn helps to deal with sexual needs, porn relieves stress, porn is a coping mechanism, and all of those things. And then you have the habits, for example, the habits, like you have been doing it multiple times a day over the past few years. And there is also like a long term memory in the subconscious mind, but the long term memory can be resist to change, can be all of those things. And you have been doing it for so long. And the emotions as well, okay, which is in your subconscious, for example, like whenever you basically feel certain emotions, you might go use porn. You see, that's all your subconscious, which is 90% of your brain, right? So that's why willpower and discipline is never enough, okay? As you can see, willpower and discipline is never enough because it's all target the tip of the iceberg, right? So that's why you need a proven method. You need a proven method to alternate your subconscious, to rewire your mind, okay? Not just rewire, but rewire your mind on a subconscious level, okay? So again, you need the so a lot of the guys also, they're like, oh well, maybe if I get a girlfriend, if I get married, that will be enough, right? Look, getting a girlfriend, getting a partner, getting married does not fix the porn issue. Like, I've had many students who are already in a relationship, and they were having intercourse, they were having intercourse, they were having intercourse, but still they were struggling to watch porn, they were struggling with porn. They were always watching porn and watching porn, okay? And sometimes we also use porn to get off while having sex. But also, you need to understand that porn was never about intimacy, sexual needs. As I said, that you are watching porn for a deeper reason, which is not the same as the reason to be with a girlfriend or to have intimacy and sex. And also, even when you get a girlfriend, you will still have the urges. And yes, you might be less tempted at first, but at some point, most men just end up watching porn once after a few weeks or months being in a relationship, and boom, the cycle starts again, okay? And they watch porn from time to time, and their girlfriends literally hate it. They literally hate it, because they always end up finding out, and that's something can ruin your relationship as well, okay? Now, this is why many people come to me, this is why many people also come to me married or in a single relationship, okay? This is like one many single relationship, they were still, after having intercourse, they are hooked to porn, okay? Because porn is not sex, okay? Porn is not sex, rather it's dependency. What happens is they go maybe 2 or 3 months without it, and they're like, oh, I'm free. But then something happens in their lives, and they just go back to porn again, and then boom, the cycle starts again and again, okay? And another thing, as you can see, for a lot of women will say this as well, men who start watching porn, they have a way higher chance of divorcing their marriage, right? And it has been proven to double the chance of divorce from studies as well. And porn is one of the major reasons for breakups and divorce amongst couple. And many of us either have kids or want to have kids in the near future, and we want to be this great father figure, just like brother Anas talked about. Well, it's gonna be hard, okay? It's gonna be hard if porn is still in the back of your mind. Like, ask yourself, how would you be able to lead your kids and your family and be a great father figure for them if porn is still in the back of your mind? You can't, right? And in most overall, most methods, working out, distracting yourself from the urge, website blockers, no fap communities, YouTube videos, even Instagram and Facebook videos or communities, look, they are all helpful for the moment being, but they don't teach you how to solve the core issue, how to solve the real core issue, okay? All of these techniques, they have shorter results, they work for a few days, but over time the urges build up and you always end up relapsing, okay? I mean, imagine this. Imagine you have to cut down this tree, okay? You have to cut down this tree. So you try to cut down the leaves, you try to cut down the branches, and then you try to cut down the trunk. And then boom, you start thinking that, oh, we I got rid of the tree. But then what happens after some time, this part keeps on growing back again and again, and you just become confused again. You're not sure why this happens, and the tree keeps on getting bigger and bigger, and over time the tree will be so big that you will barely be even able to reach the branches and the leaves anymore. And then eventually what's going to happen, you will just give up, right? And because the tree is now too big that you cannot even cut it down, okay? And we can see here the same thing with porn. The branches and the leaves, or it's like the urges, okay? It's like the problems in your life, the loneliness, the boredom, the stress, and all of those things. So you try to cut them down, cut them down, cut them down, but then boom, 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 the addiction strengthens to the point where it's just like you give into your urge. Do you give into your urge unconsciously, because you still haven't cut down the root yet, this part yet, okay? The root cause. And you see, suppressing the urges, trying to distract yourself, keeping yourself busy, what happens is, when you try to suppress the urges, with using all of these techniques, they only become three times stronger the next time you have an urge. And over time this builds up, and you will want to watch porn even more and more and more, okay? And then you start binge watching it. That's what happens is with most guys, okay? Sometimes maybe you haven't watched porn in a few weeks, and then suddenly you end up watching it 3 times in a single day, right? That's what happens. right? Why? Because you try to suppress your urges and they only become three times stronger the next time you have an urge. And what happens is you finally relapse. Now you might remember that you got into like this vicious cycle where you're like, you know what, oh, I can't do this after watched porn. I can't do this. I can't do this off. All of these people are quitting. All these other guys are going on streaks. They're going on streaks. Why can't I do this? What is wrong with me, right? Said before, I'm a porn recovery coach who has helped multiple of men between the ages of 20 to 45 quit porn for good in less than 7 days and not to worry about any urges again, okay? Literally not even have to worry about this addiction for the rest of your life. And I'm feeling very fortunate. I'm feeling very fortunate because I have spoken around the world basically online about with as many people and every day through my Instagram and other platforms, and I've helped thousands of men also through my free content on my YouTube, and also who have watched my videos on my page as well. Now I'm not saying this to bribe, but I'm very confident to actually say that I'm the porn addiction specialist, and people come to me to quit every single time, okay? And at this point, I have many ambitious guys quitting porn forever at times where they literally thought they would never be able they would never be able to, okay? So subconscious transition method prevents the relapse, and it breaks this relapse, it breaks the shame cycle pattern, okay? It breaks this cycle once and for all because it is based on the latest and proven behavioral science. This is not something I came up by my own out of nowhere. It's totally based on research and studies. And not only that, but subconscious transition is also proven with multiple case studies that I've done on my students as well. A lot of the case studies that I have regarding this. And the best part about this method is that it does not require willpower or constantly trying to distract yourself from anything, okay? So here's simply how it works, okay? So if you have no desire or urges for porn, that means there is no porn, right? If you will eliminate the desire for porn or the urges for porn, of course, then there would be no porn at all. It's a simple formula, okay? Sounds simple, right? But how do you do it? It might sound simple, but how do you do it? So here's a simple three-step process about the subconscious transition method, and that goes by this. The first step is simply discovering your root cause, the real reason why you watch porn or masturbate on a subconscious level. And the second step is simply removing the urges or the desire for porn. And the third step, I will show you in just a moment, okay? Before that, let me show you this example, okay? Let's see this example. As you can see, this is like, so let's say that if you condition your mind to eat McDonald's every single time when you are hungry, let's say that whenever you are hungry, right, you always go and eat McDonald's, right? The first option that comes in your mind whenever you are hungry is, oh, I want that Big Mac, I want that McDonald burger, I want to eat McDonald. So you have done that over and over again over over years maybe, and you have done that over and over again. So what happens, you condition your mind to crave for McDonald every single time whenever you are hungry. So what's the first food that will come to your mind whenever you are hungry again? Exactly, it's the McDonald's, right? Why? Because you conditioned your brain in such a way that you will crave for McDonald whenever you are hungry, because you conditioned your brain in such a way. And even with all that nasty side effects that you will get while eating Big Mac, which means that you will become fat, you will sluggish, but you're ready to pay those costs in order to get the benefits, okay? So you see, you conditioned your brain in such a way. Now here's a simple layout that will give you a little tweak, okay? Basically, here's how it goes, okay? So whenever you are hungry, whenever you feel hungry, you condition your mind to always crave for McDonald's whenever you are hungry. So so when you are hungry, the first option that will come to your mind is to eat McDonald's. So when you will eat McDonald's, you will falsely satisfy yourself. Falsely satisfied in a sense that with all the nasty side effects, right? You will become fat, sluggish, and all of those things. And then what's going to happen if you will do subconscious transition? Whenever you will feel hungry, after doing subconscious transition, you will satisfy yourself. Not you will falsely satisfy, but you will satisfy yourself because you're not at all craving for McDonald's anymore, right? And also you're not having those side effects anymore, and you're feeling confident that, look, whenever I'm hungry, I don't even crave for McDonald's, right? I'm not even feel like I want to eat McDonald's whenever I'm hungry, and instead I'm gonna go and eat something else. So what's going to happen once you will do the subconscious transition. So let's flip this over to porn, okay? So as you can see, if you don't know about your root cause for why you even watch porn, whenever you are feeling down, whenever you are feeling lonely, whenever you are feeling depressed, whenever you are feeling bored, you will go towards watching porn, and then you will falsely satisfy yourself with all the side effects, right? Brain fog, and waste time waste, waste energy and all of those things. But then once you will do the subconscious transition, you'll be able to find your root cause. Like, let's say you already become aware of your root cause, and after doing the subconscious transition, you won't feel like watching porn in those moments whenever you feel lonely, whenever you feel down, or any of those negative emotions, okay? Which means you already satisfied yourself without any side effects, right? Which means you're not having those side effects anymore. Now remember one thing, okay? The moment you find the root cause that creates the urge in the first place, because the root cause is what creates that urges. So the moment you will find that root cause that creates urges in the first place, the urge does just disappears once you eliminate the root, right? So you just have to discover what is your own personal root cause reason that creates your urges. But look, 99.99% of the men who think they know their root cause for watching porn are completely wrong, okay? Because the root cause for porn is not stress, it's not loneliness, is not boredom, is not unhappiness, is not you are single, is not lack of sex, is not trouble in sleeping, is not lack of purpose or goals, is not your childhood trauma, is not your sexual abuse. None of that. It's something deeper, right? Now ask yourself this one question, okay? Wouldn't you agree that quitting porn would be easier if you knew your exact root cause reason for why you watch porn or masturbate, and if you knew the exact urge preventing process? Yes, it would be so much easier for you, right? Now the problem was that the first two steps of the subconscious transition method, they were having incredible success with my students, okay? And they were having over 90% of the success rate. But the rest 10% of them, they didn't succeed straight away. Why? Because they either had been addicted for long years, like many years, like 15 or 25 or more than that, or maybe they lived some form of traumatic experience. So that's why the initial method, the initial subconscious transition method was incomplete, right? Because it was having only 90% of the success rate, because there were some people that was not getting results from it. So after months of testing and coaching hundreds of people, testing and trying different frameworks, I end up adding the third step, which is putting the systems into the place, right? So the three-step process was complete now: discovering your root cause, removing the urges for porn, and putting the systems into the place. Now, what happened is that the men who never relapsed, they had systems in place for the next 14 to 28 days, right? And what were those systems? There were three systems. One was having a new vision for life. Second one was having high level of accountability, and the third one was art of sexual transmutation, which simply means that they were building a new life, right? Like basically a new life without porn. They were making more money, they were able to attract a partner, and overall improve their health and fitness, right? And as soon as we added this third step, so this is how the complete method looks like. Number one is discovering your root cause, which means uncovering. Second one is removing your urges or desire for porn, and the third one is putting the systems into the place. And it also increased their testosterone. They finally had the raw, pure masculine hunger and drive, and they were finally hyper focused on their mission and goals. They were feeling extremely confident socially. They were able to attract right, faithful women in their life, and they became a man who people would look up to and who people would look up as a leader. Okay, they were able to lead in their community. And the experiment results was that over the past few years, multiple men who discovered and mastered the subconscious transition method, they were able to completely get rid of porn, and they don't even have to worry about any urges at all. Okay, and I've tried and tested this framework with hundreds of my students. With over 90% of men quitting porn within the first 7 to 14 days, whilst the rest 8% of the guys within 28 days, okay? So maximum is like 14 to 28 days, okay? And until today, subconscious transition method has already changed lives of over 600 men who were struggling with porn just like you. And all it takes is the three keys to success, three keys to succeed. One is using the proven method that works, which means getting straight to the root cause, no more distracting, no more using quick techniques, but getting straight to the root cause of your porn dependency. so the urges just disappear. And the second key is using a full hard level accountability. Now this one is also very crucial, okay, because you can't do this all by yourself, right? Just like this brother, one of the student I coached, he was making this mistake that led me to waste my 4 years. I could quit within few weeks through this method, but not carrying someone along with me who could hold me accountable led me to waste years and years, right? But I realized now after being free that accountability is important. And the third key is to simply using a step by step method, because it makes it easier and quick to implement. Now I'm assuming this is you right now, right? You keep on trying quitting porn on your own, but you keep on failing. You keep on over sexualizing every single woman, and because of that you're not able to attract a woman. You stay alone, you're feeling lonely, you miss out on opportunities, you are having no confidence, you feel like you're losing your masculinity, your drive and your achievements, and overall you're also losing your money. Now here's, I believe, where you will be after doing subconscious transition, okay? You will be able to quit porn once and for all. You will feel excited, you will feel more masculine, you will finally gain back that confidence, that drive to really attract right faithful women. You will be able to stand out. You will finally have that energy and time towards your ambitious goals and purpose, and you will finally be able to lead your loved ones. I'm assuming this is you right now, right? This is like the cycle for you. So whenever you feel down, whenever you feel lonely, whenever you feel bored, whenever you feel any negative emotion, depression, frustration, you always go towards watching porn, right? The first option that comes in your mind is to watch porn, right? But after doing the subconscious transition, whenever you will feel down, you will feel any of those emotions, you won't think of porn. You won't like porn would not be on the equation anymore, right? And you will finally be able to build a family, attract a woman. Now, I want you to ask yourself this one question. What would you be able to achieve in the next 5 years if you quit porn today, right now? Like, really ask yourself this question. Would you be able to build a family? Would you be able to start providing for the ones around you? Like, would you be able to become the man who people would look up to, who provides for the others, who is surrounded by his loved ones, who look up to him as their role model and a source of strength? Look, I already gave you the cliff notes, okay? Now for you there are two paths that you can take right now. As you can see, let's say you are standing right here, and for you there are two paths to take. The first path is the same exact route that you used to take, which means insanity. Like for me, this path took me 9 to 10 years or more than that, and it took me hundreds of relapses. I even wasted thousands of money, right? Because I wasted my time. And but I'm assuming if you are double smart than me, then it might took less years, it might took less time than me, or maybe more than that. Maybe it took you 7 years, and you already wasted so much amount, okay? You already wasted your time and energy. And this path is like this, okay? Imagine you are going on this path, right? The same exact path, and you are putting a blindfold in front of your eyes, okay? You don't know where you are going, right? So trust me, it's a total waste of time and energy as well. And the second path is very, very simple, which is simply seeking the expert help, you know, because once you will do that, you will be able to give yourself the most precious asset, and that is time, right? And because you will be having the mentors who are experts themselves, and they will provide you unlimited guidance and support. No way you can fail using that approach, right? And because this is the exact path that 630 plus men took to quit porn within 7 to 14 days, right? Now, look, this is not for men who are not ready to commit to their dreams and aspirations, who just want quick tips, right? If you just want quick tips in this call, then don't book a call with me, okay? Then if you don't want to quit porn forever, then please don't book a call. And this is not for men who don't want to put in 5 to 10 minutes of their daily efforts, right? And this is also don't want for men who don't want to invest in themselves, right? So if you don't fulfill any of this criteria, then please don't book a call with me, okay? But let's say if you're a good fit, okay, if you fulfill all of this criteria, and if you are a really good fit, then we will allow you the possible access to our premium subconscious transition mentorship. But also, we only allow men who want to quit porn for their faith, who want to build a family in the near future, who want to chase their goals and aspirations. And this is not for men who just gonna who just wanna get laid, and who don't have any goals and dreams. Okay. This is not for those men. And we only allow access to men we know are full 10 by 10 on commitment to change. And here's the harsh reality that we won't keep you comfortable for your goals, okay? Because this program is not only about quitting porn, but it's also about transforming your life in every aspect, right? In every meaning, in every way possible, okay? So that's why we won't keep you comfortable for your goals. Whatever goals you will have, we won't keep you comfortable, okay? We will always give you harsh feedback and call you out if needed so you can make the most progress towards your goals. And overall, you will be able to grow and become more masculine with the help of very high level of accountability. That means no slacking off or laziness towards this program or even towards your life, okay? That's why now I'm highly selective about who is allowed into this group. I'm very very highly selective, but in the very least you will also gain a lot of clarity on your current situation with the help of this with the help of this call. So, if you want to quit porn, masturbation, and lust forever from your life with using the subconscious transition method, go in the description down below. There's a link to book a call with me. You can book a call so I can study your case thoroughly and give you a game plan to help you achieve your goals. See you on the other side. Take care. I'm out.